while growing our practice. I want to explain to you why this is an important topic to go through. I just want to make sure I'm live where I want to be. I spent so many years doing things that were just quite frankly not the best use of my time to grow my practice. And I missed out on a lot of Saturday mornings that I'll never have back. And that sucks, but it is what it is. And here's the thing. We're always doing what we know to do in the moment. We always are working from where our feet currently are. And right now, where my feet currently are is I've been in practice for a long time, and I know what works in my type of practice and I know what doesn't, as far as growing the practice. I also know that a lot of practice growth comes from within, from being ready for growth. And if I'm not ready for growth, the phone's not going to ring or the text messages aren't going to come in a staffless practice case. And I see these new docs or people coming out of school, quite frankly, banging their head against the wall to get people in the door. And I feel like there are certain things when it comes to running a wellness practice that should be of ease and joyful and fun. And there are certain things that are like, okay, let's pull the sleeves up and get to work. And the practice growth piece doesn't necessarily need to be that. So from my perspective, there are a few components of growing a practice in a healthy way. One component is to focus on the habits that we implement. What do we do on a regular basis? Whether it's our weekly to-dos, our monthly to-dos, our quarterly to-dos, those are habits. And then how do we celebrate our community? How do we celebrate what we're trying to build? How do we celebrate our craft? And I know as far as chiropractic is concerned, a lot of my chiropractic brothers and sisters, we love throwing chiropractic parties. We love sharing the truth about chiropractic. We love sharing it with our community, and quite frankly, every chance we get, we're going to talk about chiropractic because that's just the Kool-Aid that we're drinking. I also know that that's not necessarily true for all chiropractors, and I also know that that's definitely not necessarily true for wellness practitioners of different trades. So how do you implement a plan of action that's not going to waste your time? That's not going to set you spinning. How can you learn from my mistakes so that you don't miss the Saturday morning soccer games because you're doing yet another free screening at Walmart? Right? Believe me, I've been there and I've done that. And now, like, if I go food shopping on a Saturday morning and I see a new doctor or a new practitioner or a new business owner standing in front of ShopRite or Walmart and saying, hey, can I give you some information? I think to myself, there are so many other ways to honor your time and your family's time. And I'm not busting on the grind. The grind is a huge part of it. But I also think that we can spin our wheels, and there are ways that we can be super effective with our message. And we can be a lighthouse shedding light to the entire beach, right? Or we can be that little boat in the water, in the deep water, that's throwing out life preservers. So here's what I know to be true. I know that the clearer I am with what I do and why I do it, with my purpose and my values and what I know to be true, the more I stand in my power with that, with my practice, the easier it's just going to fall off of my lips when somebody says to me, what do you do? If I get into an elevator, this is important to you guys. If I get into an elevator and I can explain to somebody what I do by the time we go from floor 1 to floor 5 and get them to get it, then I know that I'm good. So how do we do that? What's your elevator pitch, right? How do you tell them in 15 seconds or less what you do and why you do it? That's where the work comes in. What are the words that you want to use? What would resonate with you to get you to understand what you do and why you do it? That's a big question, right? So let's go back to the habits and the celebrations. Every practice, and you probably already have habits and celebrations without knowing that that's what you've got, right? Our book, The Joy-Filled Practice Plan, you can see it right behind me. It's a whole year of habits and celebrations that you can literally copy paste. There's literally a swipe file that you can take from Canva to get all of the flyers and the forms and the checklists and all of the things for the habits and celebrations. Let's go over some examples of each. Practice habits. I was just talking to a client this morning about the habit of texting new practice members after their first visit to see how they're doing. How are you doing? Do you have any questions for me? It was great to meet you at the office. That's a practice habit that goes far. The other text that could be sent is, hey Sally, it was great to meet you at the office today. Is there anybody at home that would like to come in next? That could be a habit that you implement into your practice to move the practice forward. And of course, I need to say it all done compliantly. Like, you want to be smart about the way that you do these things. Another habit that you could do on a regular basis is a solid recall program. How do you reach out to practice members who have fallen off? What's your system for reaching out to them? How do you put yourself in front of them on a regular basis? And it's like clockwork. Like, it's the second Monday of every month you send the newsletter. The third Monday of every month you send a text to people who are not on the schedule. The fourth Monday of every month, if there is a fourth Monday, you pick up the phone and you call 5 practitioners in the area who are serving your current client base to invite them to lunch or to invite them to go for a walk on the trail during the beautiful fall season, right? Those are habits. Celebrations are more the parties that you're throwing for people or the parties that you attend. So a celebration could be a friends and family week. A celebration could be we have a really sweet celebration inside the Joy-Filled Practice Plan that's called Well Planted, where you invite your community in, you hook up with a local nursery, you make it a fundraiser for them. Everybody gets a seedling in a little pot. You obviously do this outside, and you plant a little Christmas tree or a spring tree. You can do it in the spring. So ideas like this that are exciting, that are joyful, that are fun, that don't cost you an arm and a leg to do, that show the community, instead of telling the community who you are, what you're all about, and what your practice is all about. Cool? That's how you save time and money. The best way for you to connect with the best way for you to connect with your future practice members is to nurture and nourish the relationships with the people in your community who are already serving them. Take them to lunch and tell them how important they are to your community. Learn from them. How can those people serve your practice members? How can you guys join forces, lock arms, and create more wellness for your community? You do things like that, I promise you things are going to start to go in the right direction. But if you're grinding and you're doing stuff that just you don't want to do, if you look at your calendar for the next month and there are only 20% of things on your calendar that spark joy for your heart, and the other 80% is stuff that you just don't want to do, you guys, you're missing the boat. I'm telling you right now. So what do we do about it? At the end of every year, I have something called a Blueprint Masterclass where we're actually, this masterclass coming up, we're spending 3 sessions together. The entire community and you guys, this is free. Our first session, we're going to focus on creating the vision for 2024, because it always has to start with a vision. What do you want for your practice? Do you want more? Do you want less? What do you want more of? What do you want less of? What's the vision? Do you know what your core values of your practice are? Do you know what your mission of your practice is? Are you upholding those things in the conversations and the systems that you're implementing? That's the first week. The second week, we're going to look at what are the inside habits and celebrations that you're offering in your practice or that you're honoring in your practice. I'm giving you guys a copy of the Joy-Filled Practice Plan. I'm giving you a PDF version of it. You will have it on your desktop. We will sift through it during the masterclass. And the third week is what are the outside habits and yes, there are outside habits, like going to the local coffee shop and making sure your business cards are on the counter, whatever it is, right? So what are the outside habits and celebrations that you need to implement and enforce and uphold and honor and respect in order for your practice to continue to move forward? That's the masterclass. And masterclass is actually starting on Thursday. I can't wait. If you went in, I'm going to drop a link here. Actually, wherever you guys are watching this, you're going to see a link below. You go to joyfilledpractice.com/the club, the-club. Is this it? This is it right there. And use promo code SERVE to get in your first month free. What's the club? The club is a group coaching community. It's a private community on Facebook, but it's also off of Facebook. We meet every Thursday for a group coaching call. And not only that, but if you're a member of the club, you get 1 year of weekly emails drip to you with one thing to do to move the practice forward. And there is a ton of content coming your way. So much so that you're going to say, Jody, slow your roll. There's just so much. So that's the club, and it's only $89 a month. But again, your first month is free. Use promo code SERVE. So masterclass for creating a vision to save time and energy and money while you're growing the practice. Come to masterclass. It starts on Thursday. It's for 3 Thursdays from now until Christmas. And obviously we're skipping Thanksgiving. And there's going to be homework in between. I'm going to give you guys a lot to chew on. I'm going to give you a lot to think about. And I just solid ask, that if you join us in masterclass, you do the work from start to finish. And if you do the work, watch what happens to the practice. It's fun, you guys. It's totally fun. Because the point is that if you are coming from a place of joy when you're growing your practice, if you say to the world, I love what I do, I believe in what I do, I have fun doing what I do, they're going to want to know more about it. They're going to want to lean in. You are going to become a magnet. You're going to be a magnet from your heart and reaching out. And all of the people that are ready for what you have to offer are going to find you. That's the way the cookie crumbles. It's just the way that it works. Okay, go make the world better with great care. We'll talk to you next week.